When Chinese customs seized this shipping crate, the cargo inside was truly heartbreaking. When Chinese customs officers stopped a dubious-looking shipment, they couldn't be sure exactly what horrors they'd find within. Still, the mere presence of bags inside a supposedly empty crate was suspicious, and as the team searched the container, they noticed something sinister. A rotten odor was coming from inside. On November 29, 2017, customs authorities in Shenzhen, China, revealed that they'd made a startling discovery. Back in July of that same year, the team had stopped a shipment of goods coming into Yantian District's port. And while officials knew that suspicious circumstances surrounded the crate, they weren't sure of its precise contents. In fact, the crate, a big shipping container, had been declared as empty, and it very nearly left the port. But before the shipment could disembark, officers from the Daipeng Customs Anti-Smuggling Branch intercepted it. The container was in fact filled with blue and red canvas sacks, each of which were bulging at the seams, but officers still weren't sure what the bags contained. So the team grabbed a sack from near the door and proceeded to cut it open. Inside the bag, the officials found nothing but chunks of coal. But why hadn't the cargo been declared on the manifest? On closer inspection, there was something else off about the shipping crate, too. The investigators noticed a strange fishy odor permeating the air inside. What's more, it was a smell with which they were all too familiar: the rotten stench of animal products. Subsequently, the quarantine department was also called in to aid the customs officers. Together, the team then discovered that the shipping crate was carrying hundreds of bags, but not all of them contained coal. It was Chinese media outlet CGTN that broke the news of the disturbing discovery. On November 30th, 2017, the news channel posted a video on Facebook that revealed the container's true horrific contents. Our preliminary inspection determined they were pangolin scales, the caption explained, but the sheer amount of scales was mind-boggling. And not only is that a shockingly huge confiscation, but it's also a record for the Chinese customs authorities. In fact, the substantial seizure is significantly larger than any other pangolin scale bust. The previous largest was a 3.4-ton seizure from Shanghai. Alarmingly, experts believe that the scales could have come from as many as 3,000 pangolins. You see, there was very little information about the illegal shipment aside from a seemingly cryptic name. According to the news website Dayu, the shipment was attributed to Zai and Hua. It was unclear then who this was. Subsequently, a police team specializing in anti-smuggling techniques were called in to help, and the experts narrowed down the search by identifying the pangolin scales as African in origin. Then, after some of the leads came to dead ends, the authorities were able to narrow down their list even further. Eventually, officials focused on two people with the surnames He and Li, and the duo were taken into custody for questioning. Described by Dayu as rich in experience, Li refuted any accusations that he was involved. In fact, after a cell phone loaded with images of pangolin scales was found on his person, Li continued to proclaim his innocence. There was one damning piece of evidence in the pictures, though. The photographer's left foot was visible on camera, and the foot, which has a mole on it, was subsequently matched to Li's own foot. It turned out that Li and he had been running an expansive operation. Indeed, experts uncovered business deals of more than $758,000 between the partners in crime. Investigators also discovered that Li was responsible for collecting the scales before shipping them to He, who subsequently sold their abhorrent product. The pair of criminals were subsequently arrested, and their actions have also alerted China's General Administration of Customs. The agency has been on the lookout for leads and are now investigating other similar schemes, including falsely labeling imports of coal. The duo may in fact have been part of an organized gang of smugglers who continue to operate. Hopefully, though, the bust has been a major blow to their operation. Heaven knows pangolins need all the protection they can get. Pangolins are timid and shy creatures, and they roll into balls when scared. But although the thought of such harmless creatures being hunted is repulsive to most people, pangolins are actually the most trafficked mammal in the world. You see, some branches of traditional medicine believe that ingesting pangolin parts can cure illnesses and ailments, and while no scientific evidence supports this belief, many people still use the remedies to treat asthma, arthritis, and even cancer. Compounding matters, in some parts of the world, pangolin meat is considered a delicacy, although its consumption carries a prison sentence of up to 10 years. And despite having been granted the best protection available by the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, pangolins are still targets. The battle to prevent the pangolin's extinction is in fact still ongoing. Happily, Shenzhen Customs declared that it would be doing its best to prevent the illegal smuggling of animal products. To save the pangolin, though, something more needs to change.